Welcome to episode 7 of Capital City Sports. I'm your host, Kendall Smith. This week, there was plenty of action for South Carolina athletics, and our reporters were there for all of it. With basketball tipping off this past week, let's send it to Tom Santinello at Colonial Life Arena for Friday night's home men's basketball game against Cleveland State.
Thanks, Kendall. It was the A.J. Lawson show at Colonial Life Arena as the standout sophomore poured in a career-high 28 points as the South Carolina Gamecocks continued their hot start to the 2019 season with a 90-63 victory over the Cleveland State Vikings. After one of the best defensive performances in school history, Frank Martin's squad relied on its offense Friday night. Jermaine Couisnard provided an instant spark off the bench with a pair of threes. Star guard A.J. Lawson followed his teammates' lead and was on fire in the first half with 14 points. South Carolina built a double-digit lead, but the Vikings wouldn't go away. Trey Gamillion and Angevin Eichelberger gave the Gamecock defense fits and kept Cleveland State in the game. Mike Kotzer was all over the court, and his effort not only kept Carolina ahead, but it earned him a career-high 12 rebounds. Alonzo Frink's hustle also gave him a career day as he set personal best in points and rebounds and finished with a double-double. Lawson stayed hot in the second half, and what was once a 5-point halftime lead soon reached double digits once again. The Gamecocks defense turned in a better showing after their break and were able to use it to get fast break points to keep building their lead. Lawson's hot shooting continued to pace the team through the end of the game and gave him a career-high 28 points and the team a resounding 90-63 victory. South Carolina will look to stay undefeated on the season as they take on the Boston Terriers this coming Tuesday, November 19th. For Capital City Sports, I'm Tom Santinello. Back to you, Kendall.
Thanks, Tom. The men's basketball team weren't the only ones on the hardwood this weekend. The women's basketball team, coming off of their victory over the number 4 Maryland Terrapins, were also at home this past Sunday as they took on Appalachian State. Cade Crenshaw was at Colonial Life Arena with more.
Thanks, Kendall. The 6th-ranked Lady Gamecocks picked up their 4th win of the season today inside Colonial Life Arena in dominating fashion with a 92-50 win over the Appalachian State Mountaineers. It was both prolific offense and relentless defensive efforts that propelled the Gamecocks to victory on Sunday. After the first quarter, South Carolina led App State by 32 points after holding the Mountaineers scoreless for all but 20 seconds of the opening period. South Carolina guards Destiny Henderson and Taisha Harris each had impressive performances for the Gamecocks on Sunday. Henderson finished with 16 points, and Harris followed with 11 of her own. But it was the play of Micaiah Herbert Harrigan that made the difference for the Gamecocks. Defensively, the senior totaled 6 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 3 steals, and she also led the way by scoring 21 points en route to a 42-point South Carolina victory. The Lady Gamecocks look to continue their winning ways here in the early season this Thursday night at home against USC Upstate at 7 p.m. For Capital City Sports, I'm Cade Crenshaw. Back to you, Kendall.
Thanks for that, Cade. Now we're going to send it to Connor Lomis. He has updates on everything we were not able to cover this week. Connor?
Thank you, Kendall. I am Connor Lomis, and here's everything that we did not get to this weekend. The men's soccer team took on the FIU Panthers this past Wednesday in the Conference USA tournament. While handing the Panthers their first loss of the season 2 weeks prior, they were defeated in the tournament 3-0, ending their season hopes and tournament hopes and finishing the season 7-9-2. The women's soccer team took on Sanford this past Friday, defeating them with ease with a score of 3-0. They will take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish this upcoming Friday. Additionally, Columbia is serving as the host spot for the tournament as the Gamecocks sit at the 2 seed. The women's basketball team traveled to Dayton, Ohio this past Wednesday to take on the Flyers. Freshman Zaya Cook led the Gamecocks in scoring with 27 points, leading the team to a 75-49 victory over the Flyers. It was a tough weekend for the volleyball team. After a historic 5-sweep straight run by the Gamecocks, they would lose both Friday and Sunday to Kentucky and Missouri. The Gamecocks will travel for another SEC matchup in Athens, Georgia to face the Bulldogs on Friday. The equestrian team had their final home match of the fall with a dominant 15-4 victory over UT Martin. The Gamecocks would sweep all of the most outstanding awards for the match, and they will travel to Dallas, Texas to play SMU this upcoming Friday. We will start this weekend's recap on a sour note just as we began it. The football team would take a 36 loss against the Texas A&M Aggies this weekend. The Texas A&M defense would dominate the Gamecocks, only allowing 260 total yards, and the Gamecocks will play at home against Clemson on November 30th to wrap up their season and are bowl ineligible. I am Connor Lomis with Capital City Sports. Back to you, Kendall.
Thank you, Connor. That is all we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for joining us here on Capital City Sports. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV. For Capital City Sports, I'm your host, Kendall Smith. Have a great week, everybody.